Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jata Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitang Tang Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindangringanai Saha Vande Prasadato Yesham Sabaramba Subhankara Gaurabhag Vigraham Vande Gaurangam Gauravaivavam Gaura Sankirtanam Gaura Korunya Sundaram Guru Rupa Harim Gauram Radha Ruchi Ruchavritam Nityam Nomi Navadipe Nama Kirtana Nartanai Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Himavadivyascha Visundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. So today is the first day of Kartik, the month of Radharani, whom Guru Maharaj describes as the form of love of Krishna. Srimati Radharani is the form of love of Krishna. And why we celebrate now? Guru Maharaj tells us that quoting Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, and in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, of this, I'm that. He says, Mashana Margashirshoham. So he says, of months, I'm Margo Shirsh. It means, roughly, you can say November, December. So Guru Maharaj is saying, Sanatana Goswami Prabhu tells us, well, if that month is Krishna, like we're talking about hidden treasure of the sweet absolute, like hidden things that are hidden or implied, inferred. So he's saying, if that is the month of Krishna, then Radharani's month must be the one before that. So that means now. And that was the fashion, he said, of the Vrindavan people, named their daughters after Pradapati Daksha's daughter, Aditi, their daughters. So Radharani's mother's name, Kirtika. So Radharani, as daughter of Kirtika, her name, Kartik Mas, the month of Kartik, this time, and also we mentioned Damodar, and the Damodar Astakam being sung in praise of Krishna. And interesting, it seems the emphasis on Damodar and the pastimes with Mother Yashoda, but culminating in the last verse, Namo Radhikaya Tradiya Priyaya Namo Natalilaya Devaya Tubhyam, acknowledging Srimati Radharani, because as Srila Guru Maharaj tells us, everything springing out of Madhura Rasa, Janmadyasya Yaton, Adi Rasa, Adya Rasa, Mukhya Rasa, the original, the principle is Adi Rasa. It's sequentially, we can say, oh, there's Shanta, Dasya, there's this incremental development, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura, and then Svakya, Parakya. But really, Guru was saying, it's coming the other way. And when Mahaprabhu asked Raghupati Upadhyay, what is the supreme abode, the supreme form of Krishna, the supreme age of Krishna? the ultimate rasa, and he said, no, Shyama eva param rupam, Shyama sundar. Yang Shyama sundaram achinta guna swarupam, Govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami, Puri maru puri bara. Puri, supreme abode, is it Madhu Puri, which interestingly means Mathura, but here called Madhu Puri. What does that mean? The sweet Puri. Sweet city, the plain of sweetness. Mathura, Vrindavana hoite Shrestha Govardhana Shoila Gandharvika Giridhari Jata Gridha Koila. Superior to Govardhan, to Vrindavan, Govardhan, to Govardhan, Radha Kunda, and Saraswati Thakur parsing, banks, waters, gradation everywhere and everything. Praischa Sulabham Kim Punar Bhakti Bhajan. And what are we told at the end of the Upadeshamrita? A rare achievement even for the Parama Praishta Sakis, the most dear friends of Radharani. So how high is Krishna consciousness? And she's the form of love of Krishna. Bhargo Bhai Vrishabhanu Jatma Vivavai Karadana Sripuram. Illuminating the whole spiritual world. Right? If it is the Seva Mayoyam Loka, right, it is constructed of Seva, then who is illuminating that, revealing that? And Guru Maharaj's explanation of Gayatri, Bhargo, it takes me like, he says, Bhargo, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo means Radharani, Devasya means Krishna. Right? Like, Nomi Jite Abra Vabuse Taridambaraya. We're coming to that again. The Govardhan Puja. Well, that's Brahma. No, that's Deve Varsha. Yeah, that's anyway. Brahma's prayers. But Govardhan Puja also coming. And Abravapu, this Shyama Sundar Achintya Guna Swarup of Krishna, difficult to see, needs something to illuminate. Okay. Taridambar, your lightning dress, which Guru Maharaj says means your Shakti. Hladini Shakti, Srimati Radharani. She's revealing Krishna. And not just, we can see Krishna. There is no meaning to seeing Krishna without serving Krishna. He's not there for our amusement. Okay. Seeing Krishna means serving Krishna. Bhajaniya Sarvasad Guna Vishishta. That is the natural response to genuine Krishna connection is to offer oneself in service. Who is the ultimate transactor of all service to Krishna? Shyama Lela Avalambam Madhur Rasadi Sri Radha Parapadmam Prabhade. Bilba Mangal Thakur, he gave Krishna Karnamritam. Remember when Mahaprabhu goes on his tour of South India, among many other noteworthy, astonishing pastimes, we hear he discovers 2 books, he brings them, Brahma Sangita and Krishna Karnamritam, and shares these with his devotees, so that we hear on the Hera Panchami pastimes descriptions and the Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamritam, Swarup Damodar, when he is responding to the teasing of Srivas Thakur, quotes two books, interestingly. Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karnamritam. That's how he establishes his band, with two slokas, one from Brahma Samhita, one from Karnamritam. So Krishna Karnamritam, and behind closed doors in the Gangbhira, in the last, Dwara Shabda, Banhi Garba, on the firebed of separation, the last 12 years of his manifest pastimes, in seclusion behind closed doors in the Gangbhira, in the company of Srup Damodar, Ramananda, hearing Gita Govinda, songs of Jayadev, Vidyapati, Chandidas, but also the Krishna, Jagannath Balavanatha of Ramananda, and the Krishna Karnamritam of Bilvamangal Thakur. If you add it all together, something in the range of, say, 300 slokas, all in praise of Krishna. Srila Gurudev, and is always, but more frequently, in his final days, his disappearance pastime, he liked this sloka, one sloka from there. And he said, we're saying, oh, it's so high, when did you read it? He said, I did not read always the perfect. He said, but I was given the seva of being the copy holder, proofreader. And so as my seva, I did that. And so many slokas made impressions upon me. Lifelong, eternal impressions. Such as one which is very favorite to him, a description of Krishna and how beautiful he looks, and especially at the end, in the company of the Braja Gopis. Kosturi tilakam lalata palake bhakshastale kostubam nashagre namamoktikam karatani venam kare kankanam sarvanga harichandanam, covered in mukte kante chamuktavalin, necklace of pearls, Gopa Stri Pariveshito Vijayate Gopala Chudamani. And Gurudev always go like, Gopala Chudamani. So saying, and how, so that Krishna, who looks so beautiful, but he looks even more glorious and Bijay, victorious, glorious, victorious, when he, Gopa Stri Puriveshita, when he's surrounded by the Braja Gopis, Gopala Chudama, he looks like the crown jewel in this, in the group, surrounded by Braja Gopis, and there's the crown jewel in the center, Gopala Chudamani. So he liked that very much. Mahaprabhu liked it too. To hear it all the time. Srup Damodar supplying, Ramananda supplying. But Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, Astasaki Tunga Vidya, has a parallel book. Right? So you think, well, this Krishna Karna, Mahaprabhu himself, But Astasaki Tunga Vidya, certain are just so wholly given over to Srimati Radharani and Radha Dasyam. Because Guru Maharaj, again, he says, who serves Radharani serves best. Those are his words. Who serves Radharani serves best. Then he also says, and if Gaur Lila and Gauranga is the divine Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayana, the combination of Radha and Krishna. So You know, in other words, he said, Raso Varjam Raso Pyasya Param Dishvani Martate. What could be better than that? He said, but it is mysterious. The Srip Damodar saying, Radha Krishna Pranaya, Pranaya, Shakritir Haladini Shakti Rasmat, Vikritir Haladini Shakti Rasmat. It's a mysterious transformation. Which comes first? As Guru said, the gift or the giver? Krishna Lila, Gaur Lila. Radha and Krishna, Gauranga, and then it's Radha and Krishna, or Radha and Krishna is Gauranga. He said circular, Nitya means circular, co-existent, eternally. Still, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur composed this, Radha Rasa Shuddha Nidhi is the name of the work. So, and interestingly, the first verse is in glorification of Mahaprabhu. So the Sahajiyas, never to be outdone, underestimated, and the depth of their misconception, they would say like, this book it's almost, it's 270 slokas glorifying Radharani. Why would the first sloka be glorifying Mahaprabhu? Some Gaudiya must have added that. As they say, that Prema Vibhart must be written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur because it so perfectly supports what he and Saraswati Thakur are promoting. Bhaktivinoda wrote it and said it was written by Jagadananda Pandit. Or Brahma Samhita so much supports what Mahaprabhu is saying. Maybe Mahaprabhu gave it and told it's Brahma. Guru Maharaj said, if that is true, it just, like its value increased. But think this, why this becomes a critical point. I was saying, like, why would the book that has all these wonderful prayers and glorification of Srimati Radharani begin with praise of Mahaprabhu? The Gaudiyas will say, no, yes, must be. Right? And that's the sloka that Krishna's Babaji Maharaj liked to chant. Gurudev on his veranda had a picture of the Panchatattva. He said, this painting is showing what this sloka demonstrates. And it's a sloka that goes, Nindandam pulakot karena bikasam nipa prasunachtvim prodrikrita bujadvayam hari hari ituchai vidantam muhu nittantam drutamasru nirjara chaye sinchantam urvitalam gayantam nija parasadaya parivratam Sri Gaura Chandram Nama. It's praising Mahaprabhu, how he's dancing and hair standing on it, and like the kadamba flowers, nipa, and saying Hari Hari, taking the holy name of Krishna. Tears are streaming from his eyes, softening the ground, and he's surrounded by Nitya, Nitai Gaur Gadadhara Dvaita Srivas. So it's perfect to begin that way, with the glorification of Mahaprabhu. And Srila Gurudev mentioned the Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram of Srila Guru Maharaj, that it started as a few verses. Right? And he thought like, it'll be like 5, a Panchakam, and they'll print that, But then it, like 8, and he said, all right, well, it'll be an Astakam, Then, 10, like a Dasakam. Oh, now there's 12, a Dwadasakam. But he said year after year, it just kept going and going until, imagine, it reached 70. And Guru Maharaj encapsulated the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita in these 70 odd verses. And Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj said that if you don't have access to Charitamritam, Chaitanya Bhagavat, etc., and you have the Prema Dhamma Stotram, you have everything. And it was upon hearing that Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj said, no one can compete with him. Saying because some try to write something, it's not ontologically laden and substantial. They try to get the Sanskrit right. Someone else tries to write something ontologically substantial, but the vice versa. The Sanskrit might sound good, but not, He said, here you have perfect Siddhanta in this most eloquent, sweet, poetic expression. So Srila Guru Maharaj, he says that in my Prema Dhamma Stotram, I have written something. The highest conception in the Absolute cannot but be the highest form of Anandam, Rasam, Anandam. And so you might think, well, we should be talking about Srimati Radharani. This is the first day of Kartik. But you will see, it's here. So when he mentions that, he's referring to his verse. And I should preface by saying, the afternoon when Guru Maharaj, I went to see him, and he said to me, he's sitting in his plantation chair and said, I say the ultimate reality must be dancing. What do you say? And I'm like, the ultimate reality must be dancing. And he was like, very happy. Yes, the ultimate reality must be. And then I realized he is still extracting from the Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram, from this very verse, Atma Siddha Sava Lila Purna Shokya Lakshanam. Purna Shokya means the ultimate, the fullest, completest, and Lakshan means symptom. Right? So, Atma Siddha Sava, Swanubhava Matta Nritya Kirtanatma Vikirtanatma Kirtanatma Vantanam Advayeka Lakshapurna Tattva Tat Paratparam Prema Dhamma Devam Eva Nomi Gaura Sundaram. So Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, and that is conscious rasa. What's another way of saying conscious rasa? Chaitanya rasa. Right? Like Nama Chintamani Krishna, Krishna's Chaitanya rasa vigraha. Purnakshudho nityamukto adbinatvam nama namano. Mahaprabhu's dancing indicates that he is full of rasa. And kirtan is the distribution of that rasa. His dancing means he's got the acme of rasa by feeling, and his kirtan means he's eager to distribute that to others. So, we quoted the verse from Prapanna Jivanamritam, Guru Rupa Harim Gauram. The Guru Rupa, the Guru form of Krishna, Guru Rupa Harim Gauram, is Gauranga. Guru Rupa Harim Gauram, and who is Gauranga? Radha Ruchi Ruchavritam, enveloped in the heart and halo of Radharani. Is revealing the whole Sevamayoyam Loka. So, scientifically, if we come to search who is Mahaprabhu, we cannot find that he is the ultimate reality. He is mad and feeling his own internal nectar, and dancing is the outcome, result of that. And he's chanting. That is, he's distributing that to others. And that should be the real character of the absolute rasa. Progressive giving, dynamic rasa, not static rasa. Dynamic rasa must try to extend itself to the outside. And rasa, he himself, his position is almost mad in drinking his own inner nectar. Sokya, happiness, mata, madness, nritya, dancing, kirtan. So, following quite closely, and surely the character of Mahaprabhu, we cannot but think he is the absolute representation. By following this thread, if we approach towards him, yes. And he said, if the infinite cannot make himself known to the finite, he's not infinite. The basis of all is this. Infinite can make himself known to the finite, and that is the basis of all of our knowledge, achievement, everything. It is all his sweet will, his nature, natural sweet will that we can talk, move, and aspire about him. Otherwise, we cannot have any connection with him. His good will must be at the back. To have his connection in any way, however meager it may be, his cooperation, his good will must be at the bottom, at the foundation. Otherwise, it is impossible. So, then some discussion about Krishna and favoring Krishna. And Guru Maharaj says, and very recently, I am approaching towards that. I think I am approaching. I have more attraction for Mahaprabhu and Radharani and Ramachandra. I am fond of generosity, self-giving, but Krishna seems to me to be absorbing energy. But I am fond of giving, distributing away, Atmanivedanam. Self-sacrifice attracts me most. Then Guru Maharaj says these very words. So, when I think about Radharani, I lose my existence. That's what he says. When I think about Radharani, I lose my existence. I think of Mahaprabhu, and my connection to Krishna has been given by Mahaprabhu only. Because Mahaprabhu recommends Krishna, I have come to Krishna. I have got some independent attraction towards Krishna through Gita. But remember, technically speaking, Krishna of Bhagavad Gita is Dwarka Krishna. That's not Vrindavan Krishna, right? You never see a picture of Krishna on the chariot with Arjuna playing his flute, or at least you shouldn't, right? You know. So that's Dwarka Krishna, right? We know the Radharani and Braja Gopis, no flute, no cowherd dress, no Jamuna, no, you know, they were. He said, but Vrindavan Krishna, Mahaprabhu has given to me. And Radharani. I am more attracted by their personality than that of Krishna. That is my inner nature, I say to you. That is my nature. I am more impressed by sacrifice, magnanimity, Atmanivedanam, self-giving. And then this is the more fun part. But recently, very recently, I have got some special attraction towards Krishna. And then he qualifies that, because without that, I can't enter into the camp of Radharani. It always comes back to her. We must have his mercy first, then we can enter that camp. Otherwise, it is impossible. So the necessity of that sort of feeling is drawing me towards Krishna in a natural and wide and comprehensive way. Kishore Krishna of Vrindavan. Remember Raghupati Upajoy Mahaprabhu. Shyamameva param rupam puriyamaru puriyavara. Kishore is the age, the best age of Krishna. Kishore Krishna Vrindavan. And a general charm, not extraordinary, always present, but an inner drawing wave that is in such stage. More captured by self-giving. Where there is self-giving, that attracts me most than taking. Then he says, the wholesale dependence with Krishna, he's saying, you acquire Krishna by dependence, right? By being dependent. And we know immediately upon Guru, Vaishnava, the line. He's saying that's how you get connection with Krishna. It is another way of capturing. No formal rite, but in a new way of conquering things, a new way of capturing. Not an ordinary way of capturing, which is known to the world. No external rite to be established, but always without possession to get the facility of wholesale possession. And here it comes. That is potency. That is negative. But the negative got also its demand, its existence, to maintain, to make its assertion for the positive in that way. Not assertive, but drawing nature. Predominated and predominating moiety in our Prabhupada's expression. So that means, moiety means half. So Saraswati Thakur would, like the Chinese don't have yin and yang, the male, female, ultimate female, how together. So he'd say, the predominating half, that is Krishna. The predominated half is Radharani. So, and then our natural resistance asserts itself like, predominated? Oh, we don't want to be predominated. We want to assert. Right? Saying, to Krishna, the predominated half is indispensable. Right? We belong to the predominated half. Our necessity is from the predominating Krishna. But this has been dealt with in Chaitanya Charitamritam, perhaps in the first part, 4th chapter, and for which Krishna has come as Chaitanya Dev Mahaprabhu to appreciate the position of the predominated half. The comparison has been drawn, right? And so that becomes very interesting, because when we hear predominating and predominated, no one in the modern secular understanding wants to be predominated, right? We think that's anti self-autonomy, freedom, etc. Whereas what is being pointed out here, the supreme predominator, the predominating moiety, Krishna, he's so enamored by his better half, Srimati Radharani, that it awakens in him the tendency to experience her position. And Guru Maharaj explains it in a very nice way here. He says, how much necessity of the predominating half towards the predominated? And what is the corresponding feeling? That is dealt there. And then he says, weighed almost to a certain extent. And so he's saying, so imagine scales. So he's saying, here's the Krishna scale, on the scale, here's Radharani on the scale. And now we're going to weigh ecstasy. Who's got greater weight of ecstasy on their side? And he's saying, Radharani's scale goes down like that, and Krishna's is going up like that. And then Krishna's saying, what is she experiencing that is greater? I'm ecstasy personified, and it appears to me that she's experiencing ecstasy that's 10 million times greater than what I'm experiencing. He doesn't say, and it appears to me that she's experiencing maybe something a little more than what I'm experiencing. That's not what he says. He says, how much more does it weigh? How much greater is it? 10 million times, that would awaken his curiosity. Not marginally more, a little bit more, a whole lot more. 10 million times, to the 10 millions. Right? Aparam kasyapi pranayi janavrindasya kutuki rasotstamam hritva maduram upabhoktam kamapiya rucham swamavavre dutim iha tadiyam satchaitanya devaskritir atitaram na kripayatu. Rupa Goswami, and it's similar to Srila Guru Maharaj's verse in the beginning of Prabhupada Jamanamritam, but there he's saying, Aparam kasyapi prani janam vrindasya kutuki, observing her, this one out of the billions, trillions of inconceivably beautiful, qualified Braja Gopis. Kutuki means it awakened the curiosity in Krishna to experience her position. So then, and it's interesting, he says here, she cannot think, she is completely dependent on Krishna. Without Krishna, she cannot think of anything. And you have to listen to the next one very carefully. But Krishna can think anything and everything without her, externally. So he's saying, it's possible for him, apparently, right? Not for her. Right? He says, but here, neither externally nor internally, to maintain her life is possible without Krishna. Like Krishna can appear to do that. We will find out, but not really. But he can make a show. She can't make a show of that she can live without Krishna. But then Guru Maharaj, to cover that, he says, he said, and by the way, to give the evidence of how Krishna can do that, he went to Dwaraka. Right? He left Vrindavan and went to Dwaraka. Apparently, we find out in the Bhagavatam, but more really in the Charitamritam, that he's saying, not really. That he never leaves. Vrindavan is, Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam is a construct of the heart of Srimati Radharani. His lotus feet can never withdraw from there. But apparently to increase the depth and magnitude of loving sentiments, he goes, but he tells, when Radharani and Brajagop, when they meet, he's saying, really, it's through expansions. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna means at the side of Radharani. Swayam Bilas Prakash is other Krishna, if you want to parse Krishna. So he's saying, by the mercy of Vishnu, this has all happened, but through my expansions. So, and he's saying, and the only way she can apparently be without Krishna, it was called man, which means the pride, her loving anger, that sometimes she's trying to dismiss Krishna, right? And tell him to go away. So sacrifice, self-sacrifice is much more here on her side. And Krishna himself, Vishwanath has him saying in the purport of the Bhagavatam, when he's na pareham nirvadya samridam sloka, where Krishna is saying, let virtue be its own reward. You made me break my promise that I made in the Gita, that as someone surrenders to me, I reciprocate that. But in your case, the level of self-sacrifice is so great, I can't reciprocate it. So Vishwanath has Krishna saying, like, you gave up your husbands, your mothers, fathers, families, babies, and I didn't give up anything. I didn't do that. I didn't give up my mother, but you did. But Krishna, we can see, likes to tease the Braja Gopis in different ways to get more intense love and affection flowing from their divine hearts. So he's sometimes saying these seemingly insensitive, cruel things to get that flow going. But when Vishwanath will say, so when Krishna is saying, I could not give up, we've mentioned family friend, you could put it this way, I could not give up my beloved friends. What he's saying indirectly is, I could never give you up. That's who he's talking about, is them. When he says, I'm so attached, I can't give up my beloveds. Well, who are his beloveds and who are his most beloveds? She always wins. So then Guru Maharaj says, so the gain is also weighed and shown that Radharani's side has got greater weight. Then he says about his own discussion, high talks, mad talks. So high talks means mad talks. Then he says, someone mentioned something about Guru. And so we know in Gaudiya line, Kintu Prabhoya Priya Tasya. The highest consideration or revelation of Guru means the Ujjvala Rasa Acharya, Srimati Radharani. So all gurus are, in Gaudiya line, Rupanuga line, are seen as her surrogates or extensions. And he says, so of course, really, we can see the supreme entity on the head of our Guru Maharaj. And he quotes the Bhakti Vinod Thakur line, Guru Jana Shire Puna Shobhapai Shataguna. Where he said, when I look to my Guru, I see Krishna looks 100 times more beautiful. Right? So, and if we think, when is Krishna his most beautiful? When does the full beauty of Krishna, his full sweetness, all come out? When he's at the right hand of Srimati Radharani, Krishna Moyi. Right? She reveals the greatest quantity and quality of Krishna and the greatest beauty of Krishna. Krishna's ultimate beauty cannot be concealed in her presence. You can think of it that way. So he said, the conception of Guru is dynamic, not static. As far as we shall go, approach nearer to some, newer things will appear to us. Newer color. The position of Guru is like that. Not that he is changing his color, but my ignorance is being removed more and more, and a clear sight I am having. Dynamic, not static. This we shall try to understand, the position of Guru, God, everything. As much as the cover will be removed, the vision will be deeper and deeper, clearer and clearer. Deeper and deeper, we shall have an ever new aspect in our conception about the whole, not only of Guru, but Guru, Lord, everything. And that is the development in the negative side. Remember, in Guru Maharaj's system, negativity is a good thing. Right? Negativity equates with humility. Negativity with self-giving, self-sacrifice. The supreme negative means Srimati Radharani. As much dedication, you have nothing in calculation. And he says, but becoming master, that is most inconceivable and wonderful magnanimity of what is called bhakti or love. Even the absolute can be controlled by his negative potency. Potency in the eye of the law has no position, but only gets positioned by dint of the positive. So, which means Krishna. So he said, So positive cannot stand without the negative. Remember, positive Krishna, negative Radharani. And he's also dependent on the negative. Right? And Guru is on that side. And so then he says, when he heard Professor Nishikanta Senyal on a Vyas Puja address say, he said, I do not know Krishna, but because you say, he's saying to his Gurudev, Saraswati Thakur, but because you say that I've got some relation with Krishna, I go to seek my relation with Krishna, otherwise not. And Guru Maharaj says, I could not understand this in the beginning. But he's saying, I know you, to his Guru. He said, you say my duty is to serve Krishna, so I consider it my duty to serve Krishna, otherwise not. Guru Maharaj says, I failed to understand the meaning of this passage in the beginning. Then, after some years in Radha Kunda, our Guru Maharaj lived there for a month and took some of his disciples there in the month of Kartik, Urjavrat, this time. So, and Urjeshwari, Urja, Guru Maharaj means who supplies all the resources, has unlimited resources, necessary for what? Service, right? Everything is an extension of her desire, her infinite, unlimited desire to serve Krishna and to extend the service of Krishna, to increase the service of Krishna. So he recalls in Radha Kunda that, so they're there and his disciples, Paramananda, who Guru Maharaj said was a pet disciple of Saraswati Thakur, came to him when he was like 13 years old, either his first or second disciple. So he was there since Yogpit, Mayapur, like that. And so he comes back from like a tour of Radha Kunda, Shama Kunda, and he sees this Maharaj, like a king, and his family, and they're doing that type of circumambulation where you say some prayer and then give a Shastanga full body Dandavat, get up, move up one body length, then maybe say another prayer and then do it again, and that way you circumambulate instead of just walking around her. And he's very impressed and says to Saraswati Thakur, like, Prabhu, Prabhupada, he said, they have so much devotion for Radharani. Because he was saying, like, I thought we're the Radharani people. But I was just outside and like, look what they're doing. They have so much devotion. And Saraswati Thakur said, there is a difference between us and them. He said, yes, they respect Radharani because she is dear to Krishna. Right? So because she's dear to Krishna, they're respecting her, worshipping her. He said, so in their conception, Krishna's in the primary position, Radharani's in the secondary position, but she's dear to Krishna, so they're showing respect and worshipping her. And this is Saraswati Thakur. This is Gaudiya. This is the line of thought. This is the distinction. He said, but we are just the opposite. Right? Guru Maharaj said, years later I came to understand. Right? He said, in our conception, Radharani, she is in the primary position. And because Krishna is dear to her, we have anything to do with Krishna. We worship, we do all these things. So normally, when you hear about opposition, like sometimes we hear about Mayavadis, the impersonalists, or Brahma, this, that, the other thing. So when you talk about Vaishnavas, particularly Gaudiya Vaishnavas, their opposition, or enemy, known as the Shaktas, right? And what does that mean? Those who worship Durga Devi, like right now they're having Durga Puja. While we're doing this, they're having Durga Puja. Bengal. But so who worship Durga Devi, Ma Kali, etc. Right? As being supreme. So Saraswati Thakur said, Guru said, not Bridha Shakta, but Shuddha Shakta. We are Shuddha Shaktas. Meaning, we also worship the potency as supreme, but Hladini Shakti, the form of love of Krishna, Hladini Shakti, Mahabhav, Chintamani Swarup, Radha Thakurani, Srimati Radharani. That's what he told. And in that, we shall say this, that so, and remember, and when coming, we're going to do with Madhusudan Maharaj the Brajamandal Parikrama, right, starting the 24th, this Sunday, and many things will be discussed at that time. But it's interesting to note that Saraswati Thakur, at the junction, or that little, what is, between Shyamakunda and Radhakunda, how would you describe that? A little island, well not, but Barry, yes. Sometimes called the Nanga Manjari, but anyway, that's where he sat with his disciples and they discussed Upadeshamritam of Rupa Goswami, beginning with Vacho Vegam, Manasakrota Vegam, controlling your tongue, your speech, your mind, your anger, etc. So they're at the banks of Radha Kunda, and this is what he's explaining to his disciples. Still, they're going around, and one disciple says to him, we could say innocently, or what, but he said, but we see, Radha Madaya Hridaya Tatyaja Braja Sundari. Yes, Krishna left the trillion Braja Gopis of the Rasa Leela and went searching for one, which proves her superior qualification. Quality gives us relief from mathematics. He's saying, but we see after some time, and she says, oh, if you want to go any further, deep in the Vrindavan forest, I'm so tired from all the singing and dancing, you have to carry me. And Krishna is carrying Srimati Radharani and then sets her down, and she's thinking, is anyone more fortunate, could anyone be more fortunate than me? And when she opens her eyes, Krishna has vanished. And so this sannyasi is asking Saraswati Thakur, but what, can you explain? And Guru Maharaj said, Saraswati Thakur became furious. He said, there is no devotion to be found there. Why do you mention that? Like, he's so, Sri Barshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdayi. Barshabhanavi Devi Daita. He's such an exclusive follower of Srimati Radharani. He could not tolerate this apparent, how do you say, diminishing of her prestige. Intolerable to him. So everyone became quiet and they drop, they go on to something else. You disturb Prabhupada. But Guru Maharaj, he must establish her position as being supreme, even in this instance of this apparent dismissal or disregard or whatever you want to say, but don't say it. So then he said, reading Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said that, again, following Rupa Goswami's line of thought, aparam kasyapi prani janamrindasya kutuki, that Krishna is so utterly astonished by Radharani and her love and affection and her self-sacrifice and self-giving, and the effects his name, form, qualities, everything has upon her, that he's thinking, if she's like this when we're together, what happens when in separation? I want to see that. So really, he's hiding in the kunja nearby and wants to observe her in separation. And that's when what he sees is so astonishing to him that it awakens in him that I want to experience that, what she's experiencing. So it's that very event, you could say, in the Nitya Leela, that awakens the curiosity in Krishna to experience her position. So, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kiddushobhani Eva Shadro Yena Adbhuta Madhurima Kiddusam Ba Madhya Sokyam Chasya Madhanu Bhavata Kiddusam Beti Lobhat Tad Baba Dhyat Samajani no. Tad Baba Dhyat Samajani Sachi Garba Sendo Harindu. No. Yeah. These three reasons for the appearance of Mahaprabhu. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kiddushobhani, to experience what she alone experiences. What is that? Mahabhav. Right? The highest type of Krishna prem. To taste what she's tasting and to experience what she's experiencing. So, Srila Guru Maharaj says that wherever Srila Saraswati Thakur's lectures began, they had a tendency to always end up in this place with glorification of Srimati Radharani. And so Guru Maharaj wrote that in his poetry, that the Bhagavatam, although ostensibly the book of Krishna, and certainly it is, Nirmat Saranam Satam, but one must be not only non-envious, but singing the glories of the devotees of Krishna, the most dear devotee of Krishna. So Guru Maharaj composed this slogan, Yadamiyam Mahima Sri Bhagavatyam Katayam Pratipadam Anubhutam Apya Labdha Videya Tadakila Rasam Murti Shamalila Avalambam Madhura Rasadi Sri Radha Pada Padmam Prapadye. Although her name ostensibly is not mentioned there, her holy name, every sloka, every step of the way is meant to take us in the direction of the service of her holy lotus feet. Which again, Guru Maharaj echoed in his Bhakti Vinod Viraha Dasakam Sri Radha Pada Sevanamritam Aho Taddatumi Shobhavan, saying, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, this is your gift to the world. Radha Dasyam, the service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, has been distributed by your dear Dvaita Das, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and continued by Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, in this line. So this time has come, once again, the month of Radharani, and is our good fortune as Bhakti Lalita singing not only Damodarastakam, but all the songs that Guru Maharaj wanted for Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. And coming this Sunday, we'll begin the Brajamandal Parikrama, and culminating, the day before Guru Maharaj's appearance day, is our aspiration to resume the seva of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Ji. And then the following day, celebrate the appearance of Srila Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Hari Haraya Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namo. Hari Haraya Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namo. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namo. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Garadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Hey Jai Go Jai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jaha Hoite Vignanas Abhishta Puran. Hey Jai Go Jai Jar Mui Taro Das. Kansavada Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Adara Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. Janome More Abhilas. Hey Jai Go Jai Jabe Braje Koilo Bas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Sri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman. Sri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Hare Nam Sankirtan Kore Narotamadan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo. Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaura Hari Bo. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Satara Sada Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Sabarikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Sri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Govardhan Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Sri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishva Varenya Sri Lasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mata Charja Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Vimalavadut Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudha Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Seva Brinda Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Sri Kartik Mas Ki Jai. Sri Damodar Ki Jai. Srimati Radharani Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Dandavat Maharaj, sending love from Bhakta Bandhu Das from Shichese Mat, Philippines. Jai Govinda Prabhu, humble obeisances from Ashapurna Didi, Kalindi Priya, Milan, Italy, Arjun Prabhu, Adrit Haran Prabhu, Moscow, Lila Sundar Prabhu, Ukraine, Tunga Rasa Didi, Russia, Kalyani Didi, Russia, Balaram Prabhu, Russia, Ratin Krishna Prabhu, Moscow, Shripad Bhakti Vigrahanyasi Maharaj. Dandavat to Srila Gosai Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas.
Jai Srila Bhakti Vigrahanyasi Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Jai Rupa Vilas Prabhu, Dandavat. Gokuleshwari Didi and Toms, Dandavat. Sri Hari Prabhu and Isabella. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Nitai Prabhu and Vrindavan Dandavat. Krishna Chandra Prabhu Dandavat. Braja Latika Didi Dandavat. Tapana Nandini Didi Dandavat. Ananda Lila Didi Dandavat. Praneshwari Didi Dandavat. Prithu Prabhu Dandavat. Now I see Janavi. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. Jai Shripad Bhakti Sevan Rishikesh Maharaj and associates, Dandavat. The Tonks Temple with Subhada, Ekadashi.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hare Krishna. And other Devidasi. Sandeep and Maheshwari Didi, Dandavat. I know you must have just been in Govardhan because I saw pumpkins. And our Govardhan Mat. Leela Sundar Prabhu, Dandavat. Indumukhi Didi, Dandavat. Ajita Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat. Ananta Shesh Prabhu in Spain, Dandavat. Rasananda Prabhu in Sochi, Dandavat. Abhiram Prabhu, Dandavat. Sugandha Kanti Didi, Dandavat. I heard you're also singing the Damodar Astakam and Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Very good. Hare Krishna. Seva Rupa Devi Dandavat. There's Kumkum Didi Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Rasananda Prabhu in Kiev Dandavat.
I don't know.
Hare Krishna. And this Didi Dandavat. Ratin Krishna Prabhu Dandavat. Lakshmi Priya Didi Dandavat. Satyabhama Didi Dandavat. Shamala Didi Dandavat. Priyananda's here. Paramananda Prabhu, Govinda Farm, Dhananjay Prabhu, Dandavat. Nityananda Das is here, Nanda Priya Didi, Dandavat. Madhavi Lata, Rasananda, Pandita, Devi Nasi, Dandavat. Gaurachandra Prabhu, Dandavat. Sulakshana Didi is here. Anandita Devi Dasi in Sochi, Dandavat. Prabhu, my Dandavats, I don't know names. Hare Krishna. Right, the Vaishnavas are Kalpaturu. Hare Krishna. Vancha Kalpatribhischa Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. My dandavats to one and all. Hare Krishna.
Both.